YouTube, what's happening? It is Wednesday, May 7th. We're going to talk about MLB first today. We have 15 games on the slate. It is Wednesday. It's a heavy game day. So we're going to go over these games. We're going to look at the spreadsheet. We're going to look at the props to see if we can find some value. But first, like we always do, we got to cover the actual slip from yesterday. These are the plays we came up with. Quandra looked like damn Cy Young out there against the Dodgers. I mean, the numbers were there. Sometimes they just don't happen. What can you do? So that was over 2 right there with him. Wheeler did get his strikeouts. Minnesota crushed. Lugo did not. St. Louis not only kept Paul Skeens from getting his strikeout prop to hit, which I said they would because they're number 2 in strikeouts. They also won the game, so plus 1.5 was nice. And Springs got 2 walks. So overall, we went 4 and 3 on the day, which is, hey, it's a slight amount of profits. Not much, but hey, we will take it. Green's good no matter how much it is. So if you want the plays typed out for every sport that I do, or access to the spreadsheet so you can do your own research for every sport, which is now baseball, basketball, hockey, and now MLS soccer. So all you got to do is go check out the HQ from there. Simple as that. So enough of that. We have 15 games. I'll stop wasting time. Let's jump to that first game right now. Okay, as we've been doing every day, we kind of like roll to the weather first just so you can get an idea of what's going on. And you can see these games, the wind. There's nothing really going on in most places except for, I know one for sure. Casey is potentially going to have some rain issues that taper off later on in the day, but this game might get postponed, delayed even. So that's something. And then a lot of wind blowing in a lot of these places, and then Colorado still has some potential rain issues, but everywhere else is pretty good. So no real worries about rain. So we can go ahead and jump into the first game, which is going to be on my sheet, Cleveland and Washington. So we can see it is Cleveland 130 with a 9 at our total. So now we can pop over and look at the spreadsheet. And what do we see immediately? There's a lot of yellow. That means that tells us everything's bright in the average range. So we want a lot of green versus red. That's what we want. So we can see how these bats are doing. And you can see the bats just aren't doing well. So everything's just mid. So nothing for us. Nerfies are good, but the bats are average. So let's go look at the player props. Let's go look at the pitchers and whatnot. This is Outlier. Link in the pinned comment. Click it, sign, get you a week full free of this awesome stuff. So you can see pitchers wise, we got Logan Allen versus a ghost. Who are they going up against? Michael Soraka. Just so you can see who it is. Come back up right there, Soraka. Let's look at the names here so we can kind of see. Do your 0-1. Give me your stats for the season so I can at least pay attention. You played in 1 game, 7 ERA. That ain't good. You pitched a whopping how many innings? 5. Well, you didn't have a good start, so shame. All right, whatever. So we're gonna not focus on you. We're gonna focus on you, good sir. You over 3.5 strikeouts going up against Washington, who's currently, I don't know what's wrong with Washington, but look at Washington, second to last in the majors at 9.7 strikeouts per game. Crazy. So yeah, Logan, can you get us 4 strikeouts, good sir? Can you do it? I don't know if you can, so but we'll see. Strikeouts. You've had games of 2 and 1, and I don't know. That's gonna be sweaty if he gets it. That's like literally sweaty. Let's look at the matchups and everything. Soraka versus Cleveland. There's your history. He has some at bat, some matchups. He's owned most of the matchups too. Against righties, you see how Cleveland's done this year. Against lefties, you see how Washington's done this year. You see the numbers. We got 306 for Abrams. That's about it. Logan, nah, nothing there. So you could take the strikeout prop in this one. I don't like it particularly because, I mean, yeah, Washington is 9.7. That's an average 1 per inning. If you can't get 4 strikeouts in like 5-6 innings, you suck. I'm sorry. Who did you get against? Toronto, Boston. Boston strikes out a ton. What are you doing? Yeah, let's just look at 2025 so we can get an idea. He's averaging 3.67. Boston, San Diego. San Diego doesn't strike out much. We know that. White Sox, Baltimore. Baltimore does strike out a bunch. He got 6. I lean Logan Allen, but I'm not taking that. Let's look at the bats and see if they got anything cooking over here. Because right now, this is a nothing for me. There you go. If you want to take James Wood or any of those, have fun. To me, I'm passing. Next. All right, game 2 is going to be Houston at Milwaukee. Currently, we see it is 130 Houston with a 7.5 total. Head over to the spreadsheet, take a look. Milwaukee struggling a little bit, even though they're on a 3-game winning streak. Their pitching's doing a lot of work because their bats are not. So they're only averaging 4 runs a game. Houston's doing a little bit better, but they are on a 3-game losing streak. So that ain't good, Houston. What is you doing? Let's look over at the pitchers. Who do we have today in this one? We come down to Astros Brewers, and we see it is Valdez versus Priester. Priester walks allowed. I took this before. I know I took Priester walks. Yeah, it worked out nicely. Only problem is how is Houston's walks looking is the question, and we see they're 21st. So I will not be taking his walks. Can't do it. Same on the other side. Milwaukee 3.8 is 6. How is Valdez doing over on his walks? 80% could be a play potentially. So I feel better about this one than the other one. So let's look at this one first. Walks. He's good for 2 a game. It's 184. It's a little juicy, but you could play it. Let's look at the stats. Priester has only faced him 1 time against righties. This is how Houston is versus righties all season. There you go. And here's how Milwaukee is against lefties all season. Jackson stands out. South stands out. That's about it. No one else really stands out. And then there's numbers overall. So we see that walks are a potential thing. What are the bats looking like in this one, just out of curiosity? Anybody standing out really good? No, not really. I can't take Milwaukee because I don't trust their offense. I know their pitching's doing great, but I just don't trust it. You for walks. How did you do last season? How many games you averaged 2 walks a game? You had at least 1 every game, pretty much. So can you get 2 for us? This feels a little sweaty. He's averaging 2.1. Couple games he didn't have any, and St. Louis only got 1. St. Louis is good at walks. That's crazy. I'm not seeing much value here, and we don't play if it ain't no value. So let's go back to the spreadsheet. Yeah, I lean Houston's offense. I can't trust Milwaukee. Milwaukee's at home. The pitching's about the same. There's nothing truly stands out. So this is a pass next. All right, game 3 is Pittsburgh in St. Louis, and St. Louis got that win yesterday over Polskins, and you can see St. Louis is 172 today with a 7.5 total. Spreadsheet, man, Pittsburgh is not good. They are terrible. Look at the numbers on top of it. Everything's bad. They are scoring in the first inning, but they are last in runs at 2.2 a game. St. Louis is not doing much better, but hey, they still did good enough to beat Polskins at least, because they don't strike out much. They did strike out 6 times yesterday against Skeens, so now it went from 2 to 3. So yeah, let's pop over to the props. So who's pitching today? Who's throwing the ball? The ball throwers today are going to be Sonny Gray and Mitch Keller. I've taken Keller twice now, and I've been burned twice now. Keller's on my ban list. I don't care. Sonny Gray strikeouts. Looks good last 10. 40%? Come on. I can't take none of that. Let's look. Let's look at yeah, no. Just 2025. He has not been like he was last year. Let's look at history. Pittsburgh versus Gray. There are your numbers. Reynolds has 3 home runs and 21 at bats. Noteworthy. Pittsburgh versus righties. There's your numbers overall against St. Louis. Here are your numbers also. There's that. Have fun. And against Keller, there is your numbers for St. Louis. So there is some success. Like Gorman has 2 home runs and 17 at bats. That's good stuff. So you could look at those. I would lean St. Louis at home. Bat-wise, let's look if anybody stands out. Can I get somebody good? Victor, Wilson, Pedro, Nolan again. Damn, nothing. Yeah, and strikeouts, Pittsburgh is 14th to strikeouts, so I can't take that. Was there anything else? No, there's nothing else out here. So again, it's going to be one of them days. Some days we don't have much, and so far we're 0 for 3 on finding something. Next. All right, game 4. Maybe we can find something here. This is a profit hunt. The keyword being hunt. We're looking for things. And so far we found nothing in 3 games. So now we got San Francisco and Chicago. And man, let's see what we got here. We got Chicago 140 with a 7 total. We go to the spreadsheet and it's a mirror image of the same damn team. All this yellow doesn't work for us. I hate this group of series we're having. I mean, we profited yesterday off it, but man, I need good teams facing bad teams. I need stuff like that happening because this is just not it. They're both top 10 offense with mid bats. That's all it is. Let's go look at the pitchers. Pitches. Oh, we got Robbie Ray versus Ben Brown. Yeah. Robbie Ray's strikeouts has been good. How are the Cubs at striking out? Currently, the Cubs are sitting on 9th at 7.3 strikeouts per game. So we're not taking Robbie Ray strikeouts. Sorry. That's not good value for us. So we go back to the props. Let's just open somebody up and take a look under the hood. See if anybody has some interesting batting matchups. Ben Brown versus nothing. San Fran versus righties. You can see the typical season stats. Nothing crazy. Cubs, lefties. There's your numbers. Couple, 300s for against lefties. Ruby Ray. Turner has 2 home runs and 19 at bats with a 368. Tucker has 2 home runs with a 444, 9 at bats. We might go with Tucker. Maybe we can say Tucker or Turner. Let's go look at the bats real quick and see if either one of those pop up. Preferably, who was the one at the bottom? Tucker first, then Turner. So Tucker, ideally, if he pops up anywhere. There's Tucker for walks, but hey. And where is Turner? Turner. It's not showing up. Okay, that's fine. No problem. I got one of them. So Tucker hit. This is walks. Let me show you hits. Oh yeah, he's been cooking recently. That's pretty good in the last 8 games. That's good stuff. Last 5, 1.4 hits. What's your HRR? Plus 100, 160. I'll take Kyle Tucker to get a hit. Sure. Kyle Tucker is rocking that smooth 4.44 9 at bats with 2 home runs and a 1.5 against old Robbie Ray. I'll take that. We'll risk that one. That's enough value for me to jump on it. So, all right. So for this one, we're going to go. Let me pull it back up. I'm gonna go Tucker to get a hit for 160. Just to hit the ball one time is all. Don't go over 4, over 5. Just hit the ball, please. Other than that, yeah, you can see how he's done recently. He's been doing good. I just need a hit, so we'll take that next. All right, next we got Seattle and the A's. Currently, we're sitting on 150 Seattle with a 9 total. Let's look over at the sheet. We can see Seattle's offense is still cooking. A's are also doing quite well. Above average, I would say, but not in the great territory like Seattle is right now. Seattle 7-3, A 7-3. Look at this battle. Both teams, good stuff. So bats are doing good. Let's see. Currently, what's the total of this one? I'm just curious. But if the pitchers are bad, we could take a total. 9 is our total. What's the weather in this one? Come with me, and we'll see. Blowing out at 6. Ooh, so no 75 degrees, blowing out at 6. We could, but that's why it's 9. That makes sense. Oh, we could. If we have bad pitching, we might have a play here. Wu versus Gunnar Hoglund. All right. How did Hoglund do in his first game? I don't even know. And Wu has strikeouts going up against the A's, who are 16th in strikeouts, so we're not taking Wu strikeouts. But we'll see how these dudes are doing on certain things. Gunnar, in your first game, you had 1 earned run against Miami. You had no walks. You gave up 6 hits, which, if they're pop flies, they could go away. They could be gone. So we'll see. That could be something. Woo, how have you done this year, earned runs? You've been rocked. Well, I say rocked, slightly rocked a couple times. That's cool. Let's look at the matchup histories. Hoglund obviously has no data because he's only pitched 1 game against Rockies. This is how Seattle has done this season against Rockies. There's your numbers. The A's versus Rockies, there's their numbers, and then versus Woo, this is how they have done. Not much at all. So I'm not loving the over. I'm not loving it anymore. And Hoglund, I mean, 1 earned and 6 against Miami. Now Miami bats have been kind of weak recently. Now he's gonna face completely different setup for bats. You're gonna face Seattle, which are top 3 in almost every category right now. So if we think about it, let's be real here. He gave up 6 hits to the Marlins. We know Miami's offense in the past week has not been good, and they still got 6 hits off him. Now he's facing Seattle, where, remember, on their hits, they're averaging 9.9 in the last 10, which is 4th in the majors, a 284 batting average. On base, you can see all the numbers here. So you face Miami, who's not good. Now you're facing Seattle, who is on fire. Your prop is only 4.5. How does that make sense? I could take Seattle money line and we could just trust Wu and everything, but why? When I think Hoglund's going to give up 5 hits to Seattle, if he gave up 6 to Miami, I can easily see him giving up 5 or 6 to Seattle. We're going to take Hoglund over 4.5 hits allowed next. All right, feels good to have a couple plays under the belt. Moving on to the Mets and the Diamondbacks. Where do we currently have? It is Mets 125 with a 9 total. Let's look over at the sheet and we can see that the Mets offense has been doing great. Basically a little bit better than Seattle. And number 1 is the Dodgers, but we see how that worked out yesterday. Arizona is they're slightly above average, I would say, overall. So the lean goes to the Mets here. Arizona's at home. They get a lean. Let's look at the pitchers. Who is throwing the ball today? We went boop, boop, boop. Merrill Kelly versus Senga. Okay. The only thing saying out is Kelly outs. Kelly, how good are you at getting outs is the question. 15.5 is what? 5.1 innings, like 5 1/3. That's it. If you go 5 1/3, you win this. But apparently he went 5 here. He got rocked there, and that was against the Yankees. Have you played the Mets yet this season? No, you have not played the Mets. Let's look at the matchups to see how you do. Kelly versus Mets historically. Polar Bear 313 with 3 home runs and a 1.2 and 16 at bats. That ain't good. And the dude's been raking recently too. So McNeil's got 2 home runs and 9 at bats. Okay, 400. Yeah, I'm not touching that. You might get rocked. I'm sorry. The Mets are on fire too. Not a chance of hell. And you can see how they are versus righties. Arizona righties. This is how Arizona's versus the righties right here. And this is how they are versus Senga. Look at all the red. So much red. Wow. Okay, so yeah, Mets for sure is a play, money line, whatever, what have you. We took a day off yesterday from them, and guess what? They lost. So it worked out nicely. So we're pretty much focused on how the Mets play. So, all right, they lost yesterday. Let's look at the bats for this game because I expect to see Alonso and a few others on here on the doing good recently list. Vientos has a hit in 5 out of 5 games. That's always nice. There he is, Alonso. Bang, we're right there. So we could take multiple options. We could just take old Pete here to do what he do best. To get a hit, what is he to get a hit? 210. HRR is 150. I like it because of what we saw here in our matchup. Remember, we saw Merrill Kelly. Pete has a 313 and 16 at bats with 3 homers and a 1.2 and 7 RBIs. That's pretty good. Yeah. Let's take old Pete Alonso here with a 1.5 HRR. I don't trust. Do I trust Senga enough to take the money line for the Mets? What are the Mets? 125. This is 150. I'll trust Pete. We'll take Pete here for HRR. If you don't like the player prop, you want to side, I would also go the Mets money line. Other than that, there's probably some more in here, but you'll have to find those next. All right, now we're cooking Dodgers and Marlins. Dodgers absolutely worked us yesterday. I was in Earth. It was Quantrill for Miami worked us really. He looked like Cy Young out there until he leaves the game. All of a sudden, the backup comes in first. I think it was the first batter, Ohtani, home run, gone. Like, yeah, that makes sense. So, anyways, let's see what the line is for this one. 225 Warriors with a 10 total. A 10 total, huh? Who is pitching in this one? I got to know. Well, because they still number one. Nothing changed here because that's how far ahead they were from second, which is the Mets. So they are still crushing. And I told you, Miami's bats are not good. Hence why we took Hoagland over against Seattle. See, makes sense. So still leaning Dodgers heavily. And they lost that game too. Look at that. So let's go look at pitchers. We have Belozo going out there. Belozo, 3.5 runs is his number. That's a large number. He has almost as much runs as hits. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. Who is pitching for the Dodgers? Zoya's is going to be, it's going to be Landon Knack. Why doesn't Landon Knack have any props? I don't know. Not going to question it, but hey, whatever. Sure. Okay. Belozo, history has never faced righties. So you can see how the Dodgers do. They're good. Spoiler alert. Miami, righties. There you go. We got a couple threes, and that's about it. Nothing really stands out from there. Oh, it's the 341 hiding down here against Landon. Nothing. Cool. So, yeah, Belozo's not good. That's all I'm seeing. He's not good. And Knack is pitching today. Next guy be better. Well, what? Wait a minute. Hold up. You're 3.5, but look at your season. You went 1 against Pitt. Pitt. This was when Pitt was offense was actually pretty good. So that might be impressive. You did miss a whole month though, so there's a big gap in here. So you pitched against the Mets, and then boom, a month later you pitched here against the A's and gave up 5 runs to the A's. That ain't good. Now you're facing the hottest bats in baseball, who might be cooling off from yesterday, but we'll see. So, man, do we take the earned runs or we just take? Can I take like a team? The total's 10 for a reason. Are they expecting Miami to do something? I don't know. I kind of want to go to the bats in this one. See who's cooking over here on the bats. Show me. Nobody. Literally nothing. We got Mookie to get a run, and we got a couple hits from other people. Nothing. That is sad. So nothing on this one. Something's fishing in this one. Something stinks, and I don't know what it is. So begrudgingly, I'm gonna pass. Like I lean Dodgers money line, but it's 225. That's a money line parlay piece at that point. Maybe 1.5 at -142. Something's fishy. I'm gonna pass on it. We're gonna pass next. All right, moving over to Texas and Boston. We currently have 120 for Boston with a 9.5 total. Look at the spreadsheet. Look at the numbers. Boston's offense is doing quite well. Top 6 on average from everything. But yet they're on a 3-game losing streak. The pitching has failed them clearly. So let's look over who's pitching for them today. Today, it shall be known, it is going to be Tanner Hawk is going out there versus Tyler Mane. The first thing you see is Tyler's outs is 80%, 4 out of 5. So we'll take a peek at that, shall we? Neither team are good at strikeouts or bad at strikeouts, so we're not really going to worry about that. So let's take a look at his outs real quick. 2025. Yeah, if you want to risk it, I mean, 16.1 on a 60. Yeah, that's actually not good. Ugh. Okay, yeah, no, pass. It's not good at all. And you're facing damn Boston, who is hot right now with the bats. So Boston righties, you see how the righties are doing this season. Pretty good overall against Mr. Mahler. You can see Tyler's numbers versus him. Nothing really stands out. Texas versus Hawk. There's his numbers. Heim, 571, 3 homers and 7 at bats with a 2.5. Somebody likes facing Tanner Hawk. It is Jay Heim. Garcia has 2 home runs and 8 at bats. I think I might have to go look for Heim. How much do you actually play? Is 70 at bats? Okay, yeah, you're like 5th on the lineup on bats. That works. That works for me. That's good. And look who's number 1 on the bats, Jay Heim. Sometimes the story writes itself, right? Sometimes it writes itself. So there's our play. We found it. We hunted it. We found it. Let's see. Injury, sideline gone on 10 days. Working timeshare behind the plate for much of the season. Behind you see everyone show the start as a catcher with you out. Cool. Whatever. This is his last 10 games. He's 9 of 10. Pretty good. What's your HRR? Plus 100. What's your hits? 185. I feel like going HR, just rolling the dice a little bit for that value, because he's done so well against Tanner Hawk and he's doing so well with the bats recently. I'm gonna hopefully, man, this dude gets on base and then he gets stranded out there a bunch. Look at that. I'm gonna roll with the HR for that plus 100. We're absolutely gonna go with this. So we're gonna go HEIM. Oops, if I could spell, type in the wrong square, that doesn't help me any. Over here, HEIM over 1.5 HR. Yep, we got to go for that. Only because we saw how wild that is. What is this? That's the wrong game. Yeah. This right here, this line right here, 7 at bats, 3 home runs, 2.55. Yeah, we got to go for that. Next. All right, moving on. Philadelphia and Tampa. We got Phillies a slight favorite. 8.5 is our total. Let's look over and we see Tampa is not good with the bats recently. They have forgot how to play offense. And Philly has not. Philly is on average about 7th. They're just slightly worse than Boston. So if we could take anything here. Pitching, who we got? We took Wheeler strikeouts yesterday. That was nice. So it worked out beautifully. Today we got Sanchez earned runs against a team that can't score runs. Tampa's averaging 2.6 runs in the last 10 games. No. Baz outs, Baz strikeouts. Philly is striking out 6 at 7.1. So that's a no. But we'll still look at their history so far. I'm leaning at Philly. Philly's only 125 too. That's like, okay. Like, what's your earned runs looking like? 2. Yeah, 2's okay because hell, that's about all Tampa's going to score. So I'm not too worried about that. History, Baz versus Philly. There's your numbers. Not much. Castellanos has a home run off them. Righties, that's how they are this season. Nothing stands out. Tampa versus lefties is how they do this season. Not good. They have one good number against, and that's that guy. That's it. Everybody else struggles against lefties. And against Sanchez, historically, there you go. So, yeah, this one's going to be pretty common sense. I'm pretty much just going to stick with Philly money line in this one. We'll look at the bats, see if anything's good on this one, too. Yeah. There's Castellanos, Trey Turner. The Philly bats are hot. That's what I want to see. That lines up with my sheet. That means the numbers are accurate. So when this is showing good and then the players pop up on the prop area, that's what I want. That's how I check my work. So, yeah, Philly bats are hot, and the pitchers are about the same. Mainly we're fading Tampa's offense. They can't score. So, and we got Philly 125. We'll take the money line next. All right, San Diego and the Yankees are up next. We got Yanks 174 with that 8 total. Let's look at our sheet. We see our numbers. There's your 4th place offense, roughly, is New York recently. The bats have been crushing, doing quite well. San Diego, about 19th. You can see a bunch of that averages out that way. So clearly we got Yankees at home, Yankees with offense. So they have 2 leans already. Let's look at the pitchers. Who we got? Dylan Cease versus Max Fried Chicken, who has been absolutely cooking recently too. So his outs over 18.5. That is crazy. Cease hits. He has not been good. And now you're going up against the Yankees. I don't know. Your strikeouts I thought would be better, but San Diego's top 5 in strikeouts still. So no. Let's look at the histories. Max versus San Diego. I mean, not much, a little bit, but not much against lefties. They have not been. Maldondo's a 438 and 16 this season, but that's about. Hayward doesn't even play much. Everybody else kind of just below average, not struggling, but just below average. And then we got the Yankee side against righties. Oh no, 395, 317, 304. I feel like I count the threes a lot for the Yankees. Dylan C's history, you can see how they do. 4 for 10 for Judge with a home run. Do we just take Judge to do something? That's probably the smart thing to do. Well, what is the bats for Judge? Judge hits is probably minus 400 now. It's something ridiculous, I bet. Let's see. Jackson Merrill's been balling out. Okay. Judge 2.5 HR is plus 100. Not bad. Not bad. Judge runs. I mean, he gets walked. They could not. They can get hit. He can score, and he gets a home run. He scores. It's not bad. Let's see. Do we want to take? Oh, man, I think I just want to go straight. Yankees are 174 though. That's pricey a little bit. But Cease has been looks like he struggles a little bit. Let's look. Hits recently. What's your earned runs look like recently? Oh, he's not struggling. The hits make it look like he's struggling. No, he's given us some hits this season, but he's averaging 5.57 hits. The number's 4.5. The bats are on fire. That's the play we go for. Yeah, we just take Cease to get 5 hits. That's all we need. We don't care if Yankees win. I don't want to trust Yankee money line ever again. Their bullpen is just the same as last season, just a nightmare. So, but we will trust their bats. Their bats, as you see, are hot. They're in fuego. They're cooking. So yeah, we'll trust the Yankees bats to beat up on Dylan Cease to give up 5 hits at minus 113. Yeah, where's it at? Right there. Yeah, 4.5, 113 works great for me. Next. All right, Cincinnati and Atlanta. Is Cincinnati the most inconsistent team this season? I feel like they are. Like in the NBA, we know who the most inconsistent teams are. NFL, maybe. College, sure. But in baseball, it has to be Cincinnati. Who else is this most inconsistent? Like they have the easily can be number one in offense, but they can also score 1 run a game too. It's just mind-boggling so far. So, anyways, rant over. So, Cincinnati fans will understand what I'm saying 100%. So, let's see. It is a pick'em basically, and with a 7.5 on the total. Why? Numbers below bad, average. Maybe slightly more towards the below average. Once you get 25 and below, you're bad. So you're right there on the cusp of being bad overall. You strike out a bunch. At least you get walks and you steal bases, but that's about it. So let's look at the props. Who's throwing the ball today? Oh, it's a Hunter Green day. That's why it's almost a pick him, because Hunter Green's a stud. Yeah. Hopefully they don't trade him for a bunch of prospects, but you know that's what's going to happen. You already know it. But Hunter Green, Braves are 9th in strikeout, so I can't take that. But he is pretty good, unless he got rocked recently. Let's look. Oh, he did get rocked recently. He's mostly a stud, except against Baltimore and the Rockies. What? What? All right. Sure, whatever. Baseball makes no sense anymore. There's your numbers for Holmes versus Cincy. There you go. Righties for Cincy. Some good numbers there. Atlanta versus righties. There you go. And then versus Hunter Green. Yeah, there you go. So nothing stands out so far. Atlanta has the advantage with the offense slightly. They have the home field advantage. I would still say Hunter Green has the advantage over Grant Holmes. Sorry. Let's look at the bats. Anybody standing out with the sticks? Let's see. Anybody good? Oh, look at all the good. That's a lot of good. Eli White to get a hit. Or HRR, both are great. Verdugo, yeah, lots of good ones here. You could take all of these. I personally don't know what I want to take in this one. And yeah, there's nothing really just jumping out at me saying take me like the other plays. It's like, oh yeah, that makes sense because of this. Yeah, there's none of that here. So smart move. The best play in this one is no play, pass. Next. All right, next up we got Baltimore, Minnesota. Minnesota whooped ass yesterday, and they are a slight favorite today. 9.5 is our total. Look at our spreadsheet. Minnesota's offense is doing quite well. They're in about the 8-9 spots. Baltimore struggling still, like we have seen recently. So leaning Minnesota again. We go over here to the props. Who is throwing the ball? Let's take a look. We want Twins. Nope, not those. Just this one. Charlie Morton, and who is? My God, he's terrible. Oh yeah, it's Morton. Yeah, Morton's dog. Yeah. And Simeon Wood Richardson, who is a ground ball specialist and apparently a strikeout dude now all of a sudden. What? When did he start becoming a strikeout dude? Go away, Hunter Green. We're done with you. Holy shit, this is terrible. I'm immediately getting Quantrill vibes from yesterday. It's like, yeah, Yeah, all day. What are these numbers? You're averaging 5 earned runs. How are you still a starter in the majors? How have you not been sent down? Like, what is we doing? There's got to be somebody better because this is ridiculous. Like, huh. All right, I'm taking Minnesota money line, just straight up. Woodridge and strikeouts. That's the thing that he didn't strike out many dudes last year. He was more of a ground ball dude, but now he's actually getting strikeouts. It's like, what? Weird, weird. We got to fade this 100%. That plus this gives me Minnesota. We're not overthinking this. Minnesota money line. Next. Now look. Some of you can be like, well, you didn't go that much into it. I know, because I saw a play I liked. I took it. It was too good for me. Now, if you want to take Wood Richardson strikeouts, you could have looked at that deeper. You have to go on Outlier yourself. You have a free week, so you can go look on it, check it out, all that stuff. But I found a play that I'm taking. Once I find it, the hunt's over. We move on. We got something else to hunt now. So now we're moving on to Chicago and Kansas City. So 4-game winning streak for the Royals with cheese. And we can see 215 with an 8 total. Let's look at our sheet, and you can see why. I mean, Chicago's not doing bad. They're just playing better teams right now. So if Chicago was playing any of these teams like if they're playing the Padres right now, they might win some of those games. Just saying. They won a couple against Houston already. So, I mean, come on. So it's almost to the point they're not the second worst team. Colorado is by far the worst team. Pittsburgh might be the second worst team. Just saying. They might be. Yep, there you go. Let's go to props. Pitchers, we got Waka Waka versus Jonathan Cannon here. So what do we got? Earned runs for Waka over. That would be against White Sox, who are 14th in runs. Maybe. That's actually not bad. Cannon, 3.5 strikeouts versus KC, who is number 1 in strikeouts at 5.7. We're not touching that. And Cannon walks. That would be KC. And KC does not walk much, but they don't strike out either. So they contact the ball. They just don't. They do something. So they swing a lot. So let's see. Yeah, we're not touching any of those 3, but we will look at the history on these 2 and their matchups, because why not? Waka versus Chicago. There's your history. Vaughn has 2 home runs and 21 at bats, but only a 238. So nothing's really good here. Against righties, it's Chicago. It's not that good. KC against righties, guess what? It's not that good, because KC was not great for about 2 weeks straight a couple weeks ago. So, and Cannon history. Bobby Witt's 429, 7 at bats. Maybe could be a play. So, I lean KC, but I don't trust Walker. Look at these earned runs. That is disgusting. I mean, it's only 2 and 3, but I mean, Chicago's not terrible. Like, these numbers aren't bad to the point where I'm not going to risk money on it. Why? I could just gladly hold my money in my pocket and go put it somewhere else. So I'm going to pass. Next. Speaking of the worst team in baseball, we got Detroit facing Colorado. Oh, buddy. We got it only 175 for Detroit. What? 9.5 are total. Let's see why. I'm perplexed. I'm intrigued. Why? Because I see this. I take Detroit. I'll take Detroit 1.5 right now, if the pitching makes sense. Because 2.9, 6.7, they clearly, just the bats alone, clear, easy. So Detroit, easy. Colorado, fade. So let's go look at the pitchers. Who do we have? Because right now, not only am I taking Detroit money line, I'm taking Detroit run line. So pitchers, we got Chase Dollander versus Jackson Jobe. Jobe's at 2.5, really? Plus money, though. Plus, that makes sense. Let's look at $1 2. What have you 2 done this season? I'm kind of curious on the earned runs prints. Job is going 3-2-0-1-3. So nothing bad, nothing crazy. How have you done this year, good sir? 4-2. What is this? A 6? 6-5-1. You let Washington put a 6 on your head, and KC, the KC that can't score much, put 5 on you. Man, this high-powered Detroit offense is going to. It might not be pretty. Hide your kids, hide your wife. Detroit's going to be doing bad things today. Let's go look at these bats over here. Just take a little peek ski, shall we? Where are they at? Right there. Boom. I'm blind. Not much here, but it's mostly Detroit players. Hunter Goodman's doing good. Don't do too good. Rockies are going to trade you for a sack of rice. Watch out. That's what they do around there. So, Now, how ballsy do we want to be? Shall we go for the Detroit money line, or shall we go for Detroit run line? Let's think about this. Colorado is cheeks. We know this. Detroit isn't the opposite of cheeks. Flat? I don't know. I don't know what the difference is, but yeah. Let's say Detroit run line. I'm going to risk it for the ye old biscuit today. We're going to go for that run line special. That Detroit 1.5 on the run line. And then let's go ahead and bounce over to that last game. All right, last game, Toronto and the Angels. Can't see it. Let me show you. Toronto 120 with the 8.5 total spreadsheet. And they both are just not good. No. If this was green, this would be a nerfy play. But the fact they're actually scoring some runs in the last 10, they both hit their own personal nerfy only 70% of 10 times. So 3 of the games each, they've scored runs in the first inning. Don't love that, but could be a nerfy, a late night sweat if you wanted to do that. Let's see what the pitchers are. If they're really good pitchers, we could still do it. So let's see. We want the Angels. How far down? Right there. Who do we got pitching? Oh, it's Kikuchi versus Berrios. Kikuchi's strikeouts is really good recently. Wow. Toronto, how are you on strikeouts? 11th at 7.4. So no. Berrios walks. Angels, how are you at walks? 29th. That's a no. Well, shit. What? All right. How are you two at earned runs? Because I'll just straight up take a nerfy and call it a day if you're not bad. Earned runs. 3, 4. Okay, let's go 2025. You're averaging 2.43 earned runs. That ain't good. What's your earned runs looking like, sir? 2.6 last 10. Yeah, that's not indicative of a nerfy I want to take. So we're going to leave those out alone. Here is Kikuchi versus Toronto history, 438. Ooh. Who is this? Springer? Springer's batting well against you. No home runs, but he can get a hit. Against lefties, you can see how Toronto is done. 643 for Heineman. It still is ridiculous. A's, you see the numbers. And against Berrios, 355 and 31 at bats for Anderson. 324 and 37 at bats for him. What the hell? 714 for Renvingo. Man. All right. I don't trust anything in here. Yeah, those are history. And all I know is historically it's cool and all, but what have you doing lately? What have you done for me lately? Not much. Y'all kind of ass. So we're going to pass on it. We're going to end it right there. Schedule. Load me up. Schedule. Tomorrow is Thursday, travel day. We have a doubleheader in Colorado. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games on the slate. I appreciate you being here. Drop a like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you're playing. Hell, let me know how you did yesterday. I barely ended green. How did you do? So check out the HQ if you want the plays typed out or access to the spreadsheets. And I'll see you tomorrow on Thursday for some more MLB. Peace.